Here we go. Thanks for the patience. I've had some issues then, but here we go. These lovely, not so pronounceable names, at least Llewellyn here. Level up, I guess. Llewellyn upgraded. That's gonna be fun to say multiple times. So for the first game, we have a Mezzo War on our hands here. We're not seeing Mayans banned for this one for any of the maps. So, yeah, so Battle of the Eagles here. I guess Mayans have better Eagles with their Eldorado higher hit points Eagles versus Aztecs with a total of +8 attack with all the appropriate upgrades. If we see Eagles at all, this could just be Atlatl Skirmishers versus Javelineers in the end as well. Anyway, Urus playing as the Mayans here, possibly to be favored for this matchup. They have cheaper and better archers, and arguably better eagles. Aztecs production buildings, army production buildings work a little bit faster though, but both with an eco bonus as well. Nah, I think I favor Mayans. Looking at the map, we have 2 forward goals, one right next to a hill here for Urus and another one here, but then the main goal is kind of in the back, so that should be securable. Looks like a back gold for Llewellyn here as well, the orange player. Kind of weird woodlands, they're very thin, but at least they're in the back of your base, so that's something. Left hand side, pretty broad, much more open base for the Mayans here. Hopefully we'll see some open feudal age action here then throughout this game, these games. Deer in an awkward spot here if you want to push them in, that kind of sucks. This gold though, I kind of like that one as well. You could just wall towards the edge of the map here or extend your walls all the way to the edge later on and you have 2 very safe golds in the back of your base. So certainly something to keep in mind as the players are pulling in their boars and setting up their dark ages here. No significant mentionable item this time here. Quite high for the Aztecs here actually. I'm not sure what that's about. 21 seconds to 8. So not the smoothest dark ages ever. No sign of... I was going to say no sign of a pre-milled rush, but I'm lying. They haven't really dropped their mills yet. Yeah, here they go. I guess they're both going for the men-at-arms then, because Aztecs especially, they start with +50 gold, so they have a smoother men-at-arms or infantry opening, any opening involving gold than the generic civilizations. But definitely not a rush, I'd say. I guess they both are kind of thinking they don't really have rush fast castle maps. I could say that Urus might be able to pull that off with the Mayans here. There's the barracks going up kind of forward here, forming part of the wall, as you can see. And same thing for leveling up Gruffuyd here. Has 1 tile open at the barracks, but that's obviously easily quick-walled as needed. Let's have a look at the scouting as well. Llewellyn actually hasn't found the enemy side just yet, but getting close. And Urus gathering the core into there. Sees the flag on the barracks, no big surprise there. Taking some hits on the eagle, that kind of sucks. Where are the infantry of Urus actually? Is this just gonna be a straight archers instead? No militia in production here, so probably just going to respond to the Aztecs opening here with the straight archers then, and that makes perfect sense as well. It's much easier to defend off the or the aggression this way. Walling in towards TC, funneling the aggression in towards the TC fire so that the infantry units can't easily engage here. And there's the feudal age for the Mayans player as well. I was talking about men-at-arms here, but it is actually the drush, post-middle drush for Aztecs. Not as commonly seen today as the pre-middle drush, because the pre-middle drush simply hits earlier, but doesn't mean it's any less viable. A bit unfortunate not multitasking quickly enough to quick wall that out, but I guess the villagers make it here. That's some valuable idle eco time caused by leveling up Gruffuid here with the Aztecs drush here though. Feudal Age on the way as well, so this is going to be followed up by Feudal Age archers or skirmishers, depending. Maybe skirmishers make more sense against an earlier Feudal Age Mayans here, but we'll see. So definitely not a drush fast castle approach here from Llewellyn, because there's only 6 on food. Urus making the militia as well, and these are weakened from Llewellyn, so you could clean up the drush. Probably won't well, there's no goal for it, but probably won't prioritize men-at-arms here. This is just to clean it up, and yeah, we'll see. Needs 5 gold and could then potentially go for the men-at-arms, but obviously double bit axe takes priority here, the food cost and obviously the villager production as well. Nice to see them playing it nice and open, at least. They're not stressing, they're not full walling in the Dark Age or anything here. I guess the men-at-arms are affordable here, but yeah, that doesn't make, of course, it doesn't make sense when the range is up. As you could expect from the Aztecs with the opening here, and while it could be a fast castle attempt, of course, then the farm eco and gold investment will suggest otherwise. Could be that Urus is just expecting the opponent to be full wall at this point, but the militia will be able to delay walls further here. In the meantime, we'll come with some nice localized walls here to keep the eco secured. Getting some pokes in there with the militia, but that's about it. Eco-wise, Urus is 2 villagers ahead in the feudal age here. Has horse collar even here, Urus, so that's the mighty longer lasting resources right there, allowing for these kinds of upgrades to be affordable at this point. And this militia annoyance will have to be dealt with by Orange here before any counterattack can be launched by leveling up Gruffuid here. Nice back woodlands here for Urus. That's going to be very difficult for Llewellyn to deny. Maybe this one, but then you just relocate down here or down here. Let's see. Probably has it scouted, right? Yeah, only that one, but there are definitely options here for Urus Khan. AD 3-3 amongst the players here. Urus Khan less idle TC time, which explains the villager lead here. But in exchange, Llewellyn here, depending on the feudal age investment, is set up for a quicker recast age here after all. Farm count roughly similar, but Urus Khan with less food overall. More longer lasting farms, though, having horse collar in, so that's something to factor in the whole here as well. Alright, peaceful coexistence here between the armies. Llewellyn is going to focus on the eagle. Yeah, Urus probably isn't able to escape that one. Double palisades to the side, nice way to keep archers and skirmishers out here. Still 3 on gold and an idle villager there for Urus Khan. Investing mainly into skirmishers here. But the Assets player now only 300 food away from that next age, even going for wheelbarrow on the way up here or before clicking up here. Might actually click Castle Age quite soon after wheelbarrow kicks in here. Not much army aggression for the moment. The archers are moving up. Scouting quite limited for leveling here. Expects it to be only one range, which means that numbers could make a difference here, a huge difference here if you're going to raid yourself. It's only one for leveling as well, though. And a barracks to follow up here. Is this going to be an early eagle switch by the Aztecs here? Interesting. Castle Age Eagle Fod. Aztecs barracks work. Aztecs military buildings overall work faster after all. So that's something to keep in mind. Right now they're fairly evenly matched in army. Urus Khan not up yet. Will be going to Castle Age with a stronger economy, but if the plan is to no, they're both going eagles. I guess making archers, extended archers and skirmishers play in this kind of matchup just doesn't really make sense because both have access to good eagles. And Mayans might find themselves falling behind in numbers though, whatever they do, and Mayans don't have access to champion either, right? So while their eagles are better, their other potential counter units to eagles are nothing special. That's a cleanup for Urus Khan, now up to the Castle Age. 38 villagers to 33, so that slightly less idle TC time pays off, as the eco upgrades are similar here. Getting the fence for the melee now, and a third barracks going up as well. I guess that's just common sense, thinking that in a mess of war, the Aztecs player will be going for the infantry or the eagles. Aztecs, however, could use their own champions or swordsman line to deal with Mayans eagles if we see any Eldorado eagles here in the end with the extra hit points. Skirmishers and triple barracks eagle production. There are more eagles for Llewellyn up Grufwood here, but not fluent production at the moment. That means that Urus Khan could get a numbers advantage here with keeping the production up here. Castle Age just kicked in. 2 TCs could be in the planning here as well. There's definitely wood and stone for it. On the other hand, if you want to keep flooding army and matching the Aztecs production speed, maybe you don't want to go into 3 TCs right away. Spreading out the skirmishers here for some map vision, maybe to track eagle movement as well. Yeah, exactly. We'll see them going this direction now. That's a good move, I guess, to spot enemy army movement and staying close to the relics as well. Relics that at least a few of them scouted by Urus here, and 3 of them by the orange player as well. Relic disposition seems kind of fair as well. Too close to orange, too close to blue, and the last one in the middle. $41.39. This woman is in no hurry, just building that town center all on her own here. Villager situation comparable, but it's going to be 3 TCs to 1 for a while here. Should give Mayans a massive eco lead as the game moves on here. Build tree is certainly going to be an issue if you can't defend behind it, but there are double palisades and house walls everywhere around here. So without a ranged supplement by leveling up Grufid here, Urus might be able to get away with a triple TC boom and later on overwhelmed with earlier Imperial Age or just more economy to support consistent production. Where is it? Yeah, that doesn't look right. Just a moment. Pause for a minute. Ah, this looks better, I hope. No. Why is it lagging for me now? I'm not gonna play half speed, that's just too slow. Okay, I'm gonna try and fast forward the standard game or something here. See if it helps. That seems better. So we have 1 TC versus 3 TCs here now. 44 to 57 is the villager difference by now, but Urus keeping those 3 town centers working consistently, and Orange actually has slowed down production significantly here. Is this in-game lag or something being recorded? What's going on here? No? Don't understand this. Right. What? Good evening. What the lesson? Okay, this can't be in-game lag. It has to be something else. Let's just go and cast it in the regular game thingy. So, no capture is pretty small. Let's just see it in the in-game playback here. I'll try capture H again for the next one and see how it works out. But leveling up Grufid here with the Mangonel push. And Eagles forward is inside now with the Aztecs Eagles to raid, +1 attack, but full defense, I'd assume. But Eagle pushing with Siege against Eagles, not necessarily the ideal choice. We see the Blue Eagles just chewing up the Siege there, probably the more important choice there. Population is quite similar, but villager count still ahead of Urus. Will take some more raiding from leveling up Gruffuid to even out the difference here. Another Mangonel is out, hidden behind the buildings here, pushing one of the town centers, idling a lot of eco here as well. 19 idles for Urus right now, and the Eagle flood just keeps coming here. Three barracks consistently producing, forcing Mayans into longswords here. Still only men-at-arms though, that's not going to do great here in this combination of units, of course. (11-7) military here. It's all about surviving this 1 TC. Still 1 TC. Second TC coming up. Third TC, never mind. I was gonna say 1 TC in push here. But now the longsword switch is in for Urus. Probably has, yeah, equal upgrades to the Eagles as well. I guess Llewellyn's push comes to an end here, and a switch will be needed for Llewellyn as well to deal with the longswords here. We have crossbow in, of course, and this Aztecs range. Let's see for the crossbow upgrade when it pops out. Oh, no upgrades whatsoever. So until Fletching and Bodkin can kick in here for the crossbows, you don't easily deal with the longswords either. Unless you get some nice Mangonel Tross in there. That is. But it's going to be 2 more siege weapons down for Urus and the equal situation, even though the villager numbers are evening out now from Llewellyn's raids. The boom advantage for the Mayans is kind of lost. For the time being, anyway. Yeah, the forward gets pushed back, and Urus is here to counterattack. 69 villagers for both players, confirmed, same numbers. And these Scorpions won't be doing much for leveling up Gruffuid. There's lots of wood and gold going down the drain here now for leveling. Still committing to the Eagles as well, mainly to the Eagles. I don't see any commitment to crossbows here. Men-at-arms going into the swordsman line as well to match the longswords of Urus. Maybe thinking that the Mayans player here wants to go for a longsword and siege push counterattack or something. Now it's 18 military to 6 for the Mayans though, and economy seems healthier as well, at least in terms of transitioning to the Imperial Age. Eagles to break in for some counter raids. More barracks for Llewellyn upgrade food here. Supplies, men at arms. Must have be having long swords and later on into the champions and whatnot here. Not having time to quick wall behind here. We'll drop the houses and barracks over here instead. It seems to work. It's going to idle a lot of builders to get these buildings up, but at least it... Uh-oh. Okay, scratch that. At least it keeps the raids out, I was gonna say, but it's not so easy to spot the opening behind the barracks here. So, nice efforts to try and keep the Eagles out, but now it's Urus raiding away, getting quite some juicy kills here. 91 to 64 builders now, and increasing on that lead. I always say it's a GG raid, this one, because it's so much idle time. 22 idles now for Llewellyn, down to 54 villagers, and Urus will be clicking Imperial Age there. Making a crossbow addition here. Eagle Warriors in the queue as well, as we can see. And another villager down, 92 to 53. That escalated quickly, is not what you should say. I don't think there's any way back for the Aztecs here now, given the eco situation and the similar number of town centers here, unless Urus has extended. Yeah, another one as well. So that villager lead could grow in more if all TCs would be produced to extend the villager count. Doesn't seem like that's the plan, though. It's more about securing resources and this. Is that actually... Yeah, that's one of Urus Khan's golds, quite forward. Bringing the relics as well, stealing that relics bonus of the Aztecs. Aztecs get 33% more gold per relic, so that is why Urus Khan wants to contest them. The score looks lovely here for Urus Khan as well. It's 2,000 points ahead at this point, and closing in on the Imperial Age as well. What's Llewellyn gonna do when the Imperial Age kicks in for the opponent here? Forward TC on the neutral gold, and Llewellyn didn't really take out the villagers immediately, but yeah, that TC doesn't go up. Doesn't matter for Urus Khan, can easily afford to lose the villagers. Military count surprisingly similar, but Imperial Age means elite Eagle Warriors, maybe even eventually taking into the mines. Unique tech here. That's the Imperial Age. And Llewellyn holds on here and trusts the longsword switch maybe, but we're gonna have Arbalests, mines Arbalests on the field here soon enough as well. GG man, it's called. I guess we won't label that a huge surprise given the counter raids of Urus Khan there. First game for Urus Khan. And let's have a look at the end game stats here before pulling up the next one. 128 to 93 KD, so similar-ish. Foods, yeah, much more resources for the Mayans here. Later cast age, but obviously only player in the Imperial Age here. Slight little bit of relic gold and conceded dips in armies here, but then stabilizing again. Let's pull up game 2 on Gold Rush. Ooh, these games can go long, but let's check them out. For first game we had Aztecs losing to Mayans, right? So no messengers left to use for Gold Rush. You'd think that Aztecs might be used for Gold Rush, but there are other options for sure here. Tatars could be good to hold the hill. Britons always a contestant as well, but let's go. And we've seen the Civs already, of course. I'm gonna give Caprich another go here and see if it helps us this time. There we go. And who actually won the previous one? Urus won the first one. Okay. Here we go. Playback speed seems on point. I'll just see if I could even. This should hopefully help Caprich perform even a little bit better here. Alright, Gold Rush. This would be Llewellyn's first home map. Tatars for Gold Rush. As we know, Tatars get plus 25% extra heal bonus for any unit. So if Tatars hold the middle with the castle, good luck fighting them back on Gold Rush. But at least, as opposed to the Definitive Edition Gold Rush, the Hidden Cup Edition has a smaller hill in the middle that's not as significant as the Definitive Edition version, where the hill is bigger. You could place town centers and castles almost on the hills. You start with some gold at home, 3 tile and 4 tile patch, but the rest of the gold is of course in the middle. Only gold, not like golden pit when there's stone as well. Players should have a fairly easy wall up usually between the woodlands, but this looks surprisingly open in the front for both players here. So Malay for Urus will have a quick and smooth uptime here. That's probably a seed that Llewellyn expected for other situations, like a typical naval map, but it could come in handy on land maps as well. Malay have fully upgraded Arbalesters. That's going to work out well for them with the faster cast and imperial ages to maybe take an edge over the Tatars there, but we don't know that yet. Let's see what the Tatars might be planning here. Given the openness on either side, this could actually favor scouts, but then again you need to find the opponent and judge whether or not that's possible. You would kind of expect the players just to wall off and play it safe here with some kind of infantry opening, or yeah, aim for that castle age to more easily fortify and secure the middle. But again, the openness of the either player side here still kind of favors somewhere the aggression. Bit unlucky baller there. We'll blame a little bit of it on the stragglers placement on the map here as well. That makes it kind of awkward, and the sheep are, I guess, for blocking the boar as well. But the boar is there. You'll have to force stop a little bit maybe to keep production going. Level in 15 seconds idle piece time, whereas Urus is keeping it at a nice 0 for the time being. Also scouting the enemy side here to see both the goals that they are kind of. Yeah, this one isn't really in the back, but this is definitely in the back and more easily preserved or defended here. Forward berries kind of invite for some form of infantry aggression to hit them. But neither player, as far as I can see, has dropped a where is it, 21 pop fuel age for the Malay here. And very, very heavy investment on food. Could this be Malay scouts? Probably not, since the barracks isn't up, but the food investment kind of looks like it right now. Wall off for leveling up Gruffuit as well. Can't quite follow the progression here. I thought I'd seen, I thought that force drop was to go to the feudal age, but that's absolutely not the case. More farms going up could be a very greedy naked fast castle play here by the Malay player, since there's no sign of a military building yet. Also reacting maybe to the yellow players' play here, walling off. Yeah, these players aren't going to play, they're just going to skip to the Arctic Feudal Ages here and go castle instead, and that should favor the Malay, to be honest. Being housed here, so a little bit of idle TC time for Urus Khan here. So feudal age for the Tatars here, 1 minute 20 seconds, but Malay, remember, 66% faster up, so aren't necessarily going to be too far behind the Tatars up here, depending on the actual plan here. It's definitely a straight fast castle build here. But this map is just asking for it for Urus Khan as well. If you can wall the front sides here, resource placements. Otherwise, with the way Urus Khan is walling now, is actually keeping everything safe from feudal age aggression. Llewellyn up to the feudal age. Urus Khan hasn't even clicked yet. Going up at 29 builders here. And yeah, sending a bit more than your standard 2 to gold, because Malay go up that fast. You see, just over 1 minute the uptime here. And barracks, we'll wait for later, but looks of it. Rage for the Tatars, and also a fast castle play here for Llewellyn. So Llewellyn going to beat the Malay to the castle age here, I think. Making use of that extra Tatars sheep bonus as well. But obviously going to go up at less population than the Malay, because the Malay are essentially saving 3 villagers' creations worth of time going up like this. Just poking away at the wall there. Guess we could have fast forwarded this game like it was a hideout game or something, because they're playing it very slow and safe here. But again, it makes sense for Gold Rush, because you have to hold the middle. You want your castle up in the middle, or establish some presence there for continued gold access. No production from the range. It's going to be straight past castle cavalry archers for the Tatars player here, maybe. Whereas the Malay, what's the plan here? Are we going to see an elephant masterpiece here or something? Probably not, given the resource setup here. Would be fun to see some cheap Malay elephants, especially now that they are. But I guess this might have been played before the elephants got cheaper in the Imperial Age for the Malay. But there's still a 30% discount on the battle elephants for Malay in the cast stage, so it's something you could go for with a cheeky, fast castle play. Both players, Urus Khan actually beating Llewellyn to the cast stage here. I didn't see that coming with the Tatars, but that's the faster uptime and the population lead, the villager lead. 4 villagers more for Urus Khan here, comparable idle TC times, and no wheelbarrow for either player. And indeed, it is the cavalry archers for the Malay. Malay, for the Tatars, not the Malay. Don't go Malay cow archers, unless your name is Umutunis and his 40 skirms. So Cav out. In the meantime, Urus is going for 2 additional town centers here. Good defense in itself against Cav play. 1 on stone here with plans of taking the middle as well. And then there's then there's the cavalry archers love to come from the Llewellyn up with here with 2 rangers consistently producing, going to take a nice army lead here. We'll be needing Bodkin arrows at least for the cavalry archers to have better damage potential here, but the main issue here is the placement of the resources and the way Urus has set up base here, because you can't easily raid. You would have to run past the TCs in that case to get within the walls and raid, and at least until you have full castle age upgrades on the cavalry archers, that's not something you want to risk. Because either you'll get trapped in the enemy base map, or you'll lose key points to the enemy TC on the way in and out. University for Urus planning definitely a ranged approach here. I guess Urus is aiming for an earlier Imperial Age and Arbalesters here to gain a power spike over the Tatars, but here's Llewellyn breaking in through the palisades. Urus might still be able to pop up a house here and keep them out, but the university gets delayed and enter the Cav archers. And yeah, house walls keep the aggression kind of out, but Urus will be losing villagers as well. Can definitely afford to lose villagers when playing 3 TCs against one like this, but you need to defend well as well. Here are some wildlife wanting to enter the battle as well. So that's an annoyance that Llewellyn needs to deal with. Bodkin arrow is in, ballistics still missing, but the university is missing as well. 2 ranges, constant cavalry archer production here for the Tatars. Again, gonna try to break through here or snipe some villagers. Take the damage you can, hit and run, and just be plain annoying. There we go. Down goes the house, and Llewellyn will be looking for blood here to even out the eco situation, being 20 villagers behind now. So it looks like the Cav archers are doing work here, killing 7 villagers. That's not going to be enough to even things here. Llewellyn has to take some bites on TC fire here as well, but at least keeps the woodline to the east side here, the largest woodline for Urus busy here. For now, it's just skirmishers to defend here for Urus. And in the meantime, Llewellyn has placed a siege workshop in the middle, some presence here, and it's taking the gold as well. 16 villagers and counting for Llewellyn, and still 10 villagers behind. Less idle TC time, but that's also because Urus has 3 TCs and has the eco significantly hindered here. Looks like the Tatars' 1 TC offensive is working out very nicely against the greedy Malay play here, the middle with within Yellow's control for the time being, and Llewellyn does really need to defend the middle when Urus only has 4 military and is mainly trying to boom here. Just keep the aggression up, keep producing cavalry archers, add siege to push as well, couple of mangonels. Yeah, this is this is not pretty for the Malay. I mean, the only army that a player has is skirmishers, so if you want to deal with the mangonels here, you need to focus villagers. Llewellyn pulls back, could also send in cavalry archers here to snipe villagers, so you can't just pound down the mangonels with villagers here. Lots of idle eco. 2 hours idle eco time for Urus here, and lost 27 villagers to the cavalry archers around the map here as well. This is peak Tatar's gameplay right here with the cavalry archers, and now with siege added as well by leveling up Gruffoyd here, trying to keep this TC up, maybe trying to buy time for something here, I don't know, but the GD is called. That is a 1-1, and let's see for the stats. 2 greedy Malay here. Not sure what Urus plan was here, but probably hoping to establish a boom like they did, but then the cavalry broke in, and that was obviously not Urus plan here, to allow that to happen without having anything to defend. Resource collection is surprisingly similar with 3 town centers to 1 here, and the castle timing is pretty much the same as well. Turtling it through the Dark Age and Feudal Ages and making RB in the castle age. Alright, let's find the next one. The third game first, home map of Urus, which is going to be Bay. GG, 1 sec. I finished my cigarette. There's that smoke talk again. Which one of the Hidden Cup players are are smoking? I need to investigate that. Anyway, Bay it is. And I think I'll take the liberty to fast forward a little bit here, because there's not going to be any too significant action until the feudal age, like on any map, but well, I'll look out for some militia production, but this is basically going to be about the early water fighting first to establish an eco lead through control of fish and control over this water section of the map as well. And then later on you expand across the field with town centers and whatnot to make use of the resources. We don't have the go-to civils with the Mongols and the Italians here. We have Persians versus Saracens, and Urus with the Persians starts with plus 50 wood and plus 50 food. And Persian docks are also twice the docks, and town centers have twice the hit points, so Persians can last much longer against their eco buildings that way. You see Llewellyn here with the starting scout, but Urus is here to defend as well. No loom for the villagers, so Llewellyn, given the weakness of Urus scout here, could actually try and snipe the docking villager, but in the meantime, yeah, no loom is prioritized here, but the dock goes up, and Urus can get the resources rolling here. Both players with the dock up, and as you can see, that Persian's dock has twice the hit points. Fish numbers look the same. Persians ideally would be getting their fish up early. There we go, 3 fish for the Persians, while the Saracens making the 3rd ship as well. Both walling up at home base here, as is usually common practice on this map, but this is passable, right? I believe that's passable. I've made this mistake myself. You wall towards the edge of the map because these shallows can't be walled or built upon. So even if you have dock here, I think that is not enough to work as a block. I think you could still pass here, but I might be wrong. Maybe that's ingenious play there. There's a few ledge. Let's slow down a little bit to catch up with the action here. We're catching up with normal game speed now. I think we are. Yeah, there we go. So, 2 docks for the Persians. Really want to hold water here, understandably so. From the few ledge, Persian town centers and docks work 10% faster. So you want to use that eco to your advantage. Llewellyn, also in the few ledge, not queuing any ships. So probably just realizing that I can't fight this. I'm against Persians. Their docks work faster as well. They'll win this easily, especially with 1 dock more. Which in fact Llewellyn doesn't have scouted, but Urus should be aware now that there's only 1 dock for Llewellyn up Gruffudd. There are only 3 fish. You really should be anything more into water now, being Urus, in my opinion. No need to queue more fire galleys. This water is already won here. This is Urus home map as well, so likely has a plan here. There's the market blacksmith for the Saracens player. Saracens have better rates from their market, so they can trade much more efficiently, and their archers also have bonus against buildings, so they'll tear down walls more easily. Just a small trickle of archers, even without upgrades here, moving out now for leveling up Gruffudd. And, okay, so this is why Urus isn't too afraid with the walls. He actually keeps a demolition ship on patrol here, just in case the army tries to sneak past here. Okay, I'm gonna have to pay attention to that one and see if Urus is going to get any juicy demolitions in here. Oh, the Llewellyn with the archers out now, and 4+1 range for the archers. Yeah, match, that's not gonna work. These are yeah, they're all playing under hidden names, so we don't know their elos until the reveal when I cast the final, which all the matches have been played, in fact. But I'll be casting the final this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, haven't quite decided yet. There's the lag, but that's because of the click up, so tiny lag when any player is up to the next stage. This is not ideal for Urus though. I think leveling up Gruffudd should, at this point, maybe consider a tower or something, because Urus is within the walls here. Yes, has the water, so would have to transport villagers out to take any extension on the map here now. Why? Where is... Hold on. 4 tile gold. 9 tile gold. Where the hell is Urus second gold? Wow. I think it's actually there. That's the worst gold of the century for Urus there compared to Llewellyn with the same 4 tile gold in the back there. I didn't think about that until now, but it's so easy for Llewellyn to keep Urus off gold now until Urus can get to the cast stage and maybe drop a TC here eventually or something. But that's still 2 minutes away at the very least, and there are also armies here to hold this on. This could be a short game due to the shortage of gold here, obviously, with the fish eco and the wood safe in the back here. Urus can still go into skirmishers defense, and in which case the Saracens player can't go with archers exclusively, but walls aren't going to keep Saracens out. They have bonus attack against buildings. And I think Llewellyn insists upon keeping this market from completing because they suspect that this might be the second building Urus needs to go up, but Urus is all the way up already with the range and blacksmith in place here. Castage and crossbow is in for Llewellyn upgrade of food here. 10 gold, 15 on wood, and very likely using the market here to adjust as needed to boost production. So you could definitely say that Persians have a much more solid economy here. But if Urus is not able to secure this main gold, just gonna be really rough to keep up here. You need gold for elite skirmishers as well, right? So Urus will need to sell food now to get the gold for elite skirmish, which is probably the play here to deal with crossbows. Persians, of course, they have knights that get bonus attack against archers. But for knights, you need gold, and there's no gold access for Urus here now. There is wood and stone for a town center, though, so could be planning to either move further out to stay out of the archers, or just to TC this gold eventually. In the meantime, the Saracens crossbows have broken in though, and this isn't looking too pretty for Urus Khan's home map here. 22 military to 8, looking like that gold rush game for now, where one player tries to get an eco rolling and the other just goes full YOLO extended 1 TC play here. One Scorpion and a Knight out of that Knight. I guess the Knight is more of a meat shield in between the archers to allow the Scorpion to get a good hit in here, but it's gonna be rough for Urus Khan. Even production buildings can be taken out easily with Saracens here, but we have kind of Huang-style Saracens play here by Llewellyn up food. Beowulf, is this you? Beowulf has been perfecting his Huang play recently, so that's one of the few players I'd just wager on for the playstyle work here. Certainly keeping Urus Khan at their tiptoes here, though. Persians surely not working out as intended here. A good Mangonel shot could switch up the favors here, though. And finally, the town center is also up on the main gold, so Urus Khan has gold access back on track. And it's a bit unfortunate that Llewellyn didn't keep harassing this gold, because now that Urus Khan is establishing gold control again, that means that the Persians knights with the bonus attack against archers will be on the field. And you could much more easily deal with this forward, as long as you have gold access, of course. Food eco is supported by, well, it's actually idled on water, but that has brought in some nice food for sure. And gold also opens up for defensive siege opportunities, like the Mangonel joining in to get a hit here. Alright, Mangon getting a little sneaky hit in there, taking out maybe a few crossbows. KD 9 to 5, nothing crazy yet, but we see the Saracens bonus at work here as well. Even a Persian town center might fall victim to this forward. Looks like Redemption is in as well, and Llewellyn gets the conversion of the Mangonel. What a play! Oh, Saracens have a fantastic Monk tech tree, so So they can certainly do things with their monks in terms of defense as well to convert enemy siege. And of course, pressuring the right area of the map here, leveling up with keeping Persians at home, keeping Persians from taking gold freely. We see only 3 on gold per Urus Khan and losing more villagers here, 18-9 KD. Urus Khan keeping the villager lead, but losing a lot in their process, and most importantly, losing gold access. Yep, that's it. Gold. To be fair, though, Urus Khan's second gold here. Llewellyn's second gold here. That's as unfair of a map gen for gold positions as you can get. It's so far out. It might even have bugged out here, and that might be a neutral one, but I think there are 3 tile neutral golds exclusive except for the edge there. So yeah, that's really... That's... Let's not call it a map win, because Llewellyn played very well, played the map nicely. But yeah, still, GG. Let's have a look at the stats that go into game 4. GG indeed. More resources for Persians, but no gold, obviously. Smoother cast stage for the Saracens as well, even without controlling water. But then there's the market of the Saracens, of course, making that easier. Next game will be on Urus Khan's second home map then. And that will be High Tides. Right, first time seeing High Tides in this 19 Nations Hidden Cup. We're using the T90 Hidden Cup maps here. Let's just give that a moment to load in, hopefully. Or not. Okay. So I think we need to cancel out some processor. Woohoo! Processor getting some work done here. Let's stop the capturation processes here. And for some reason AOE 2 doesn't even show here, which is slightly concerning. Okay. Looks like Cap Rich crashed everything here, but let's bring it up again and see what high tides brings us. So sorry about the mess, the crash, the reboot. Game 4. Back to it. Japanese versus Bulgarians. Probably need to... No, score stands. GG 1-6. Oh, okay. Etc, etc. The map is High Tides. And we see Urus called... opting for some early scouting far out here. Wants to prevent any lanes, maybe. Just to get a grasp of the map here. I've only seen this map a few times in the League Cup, but I see golds and stones to the south that could be contested, or some wild animals there to make it awkward. I'm not sure about the potential for mining camps here. Maybe there is, maybe there's not. Could be kind of inefficient. But then there's the north side with lots of extra gold here and the definite richness of fish here that what players of course want to exploit. Maybe the Japanese, especially since their fishing ships have a higher work rate. Okay, so Llewellyn out on the move as well. No, just scouting home base for now. There's deer, wild animals here to be lured in. There's the standard 2 boars. Llewellyn missing a couple of sheep here, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. They've switched colors, by the way, so either they forgot to pick or they intentionally switched here for some reason. Obviously no dock yet, they're only at their 10th villager. It's also quite common to see on hybrid maps to see 5 villagers on wood, maybe before the rhino, or maybe after the rhino, but you need more villagers on wood. If you want to go for the water, that is, you need 5 on wood to compensate for... to have enough wood to produce both ships and your production buildings on land and whatnot. Each fishing ship costs 75 wood, so that's it. Good start for both players by the looks of it. With very little idle TC time. Well, let's see for the action to the north here. Are they even realizing that they're both docking here? They're not really aware of the other player docking here, which is kind of interesting. Would certainly have an easier time denying each other. If that was the case, Urus has not quick wall in the villager, obviously has the scout to defend here though, so Llewellyn shouldn't be able to pick off the villager here. That's Scout's RNG right there, but Urus gets the first hit, brings in the villager to try and get another hit in as well, but yeah, Llewellyn won't be getting any villager snipe or scout snipe there. 19 pop for both players. There's should be one villager lead for Urus here though, because of the idle TC time of Llewellyn now also getting the loom. Did Urus get that already? Maybe no. Going and non-loom here as the second rhino is being eaten as well. No, not really necessarily a need to push the hunt when you have the fish income on water. But who's gonna get the fuel age first here? I think it's gonna be the Japanese. The fishing ships work faster, and the overall boost it up looks better as well. Never mind, but it's definitely going to be a stronger fuel age for Urus here. Japanese fishing ships, they have extra armor and they have twice the hit points, so they are tougher to kill than the generic ones. But if Urus wants to contest or even have a chance at keeping the fish going here with the Japanese, is still going to need to click that fuel age soon. Could be just a debate here as well that Urus is just going to make these 3 fish and then pull the villager away and go full land aggression instead, but we'll see. There's also a chance, of course, that they don't have anything planned beyond the Japanese pick here. Still, well, there's the fuel age, 24 villager up. So, all in all, I guess that 1 minute isn't going to make too much of a difference, but Llewellyn definitely will be getting the combat ships out first, the naval armies, and likely take out at least 1 or 2 of the Japanese fish before Urus can get their first ship out here. The villager will probably just evacuate the area. There we go, fuel age is in. Second dock goes up. Okay. Fuel age for the opponent is in, that is. Urus going 2 docks here, like with Persians on Bay in the previous game. Equaling the block villager. There's the fuel age. 2 docks, 2-1. And Llewellyn actually not investing here. Did have a 1 minute head start of fuel age, but did not go to gold at all. Nice. Urus finds a weak villager, gets the Hera snipe there, and could almost get another one actually with the hill advantage there. Let's see the waters. I guess Llewellyn doesn't even want to try and contest Japanese on water here because the Ephesian ships are so tanky anyway. And now this 2 docks to 1. I'm not sure what Llewellyn's plan is here. Maybe Llewellyn is one who doesn't really have anything sorted for high tides, but there's definitely land aggression going on here for the Bulgarians and the instant men-at-arms. Nice blocking with the scout there to take out the villager. Could get another one as well. But Urus is still with the overall equal lead here. Granted, 1 less villager here, but in return, 4 fishing ships, too soon to be 0 for Llewellyn. If Urus decides to engage, that is. Eco KD 2-1, so comparable there. But more importantly, Llewellyn delays significantly the Japanese barracks here. I think Urus still gets this one up. Maybe we'll need to pull the men-at-arms over here to take out the barracks building villagers in that case. And that's what he does indeed. Barracks stays denied here. That's good recognition from Llewellyn to realize that if I deny this, delay this, it's going to take Urus a new barracks before they could eventually go into archers, as the Japanese usually would, and defend with archers here. But the naval situation is not looking bright for the Bulgarians, of course. Losing access to the fish here, maybe more importantly, losing control over the north area here with all this extra gold as well. This is probably... yeah, this is thousands of gold right here. 5,000, 6,000, something like that. Down goes the Barracks Foundation, and Bulgarians men-at-arms into scouts here. Very solid food investment as well. Not really taking the berries yet, but taking the long distance hunt. Men-at-arms still alive. Scouts to join in as well. And they're not fighting a nobody here. This is Japanese, and Japanese infantry attack faster, so it doesn't really make sense to go scouts against the Japanese, although the scouts could still dodge and run away from the spears, but once they get the poke in, down the scouts go, and Urus kills 2 scouts just like that. Yeah, dock about to go down, nothing to see here. Water definitely under Urus control, and economy situation very well sorted for the blue player as well. The villager situation, 34, one more villager on land for Llewellyn, and also going for the wheelbarrow here as well to boost the many farms that are already in place here. 17 farms, right? Back woodlands being taken, gold being taken for the transition as well. Bulgarians have great Castle Age cavalry, the Cownicks and Knights, and from the castle a unique technology called Stirrups that has the cavalry attack 33% faster. Crazy that the men-at-arms are still alive at this stage. 18, almost 19 minutes in. The blacksmith goes up. There's one range for Urus here. The overall eco situation should allow Urus to have a nice and smooth cast stage still though, and the crossbows to enter the area here. In the meantime, Bulgarians walling off with mainly houses here, some palisades. Greedy walls, in my opinion. Also, you can't really wall here, right? So you'd have to wall in on land towards the edge to really secure the economy here. There's the stable. Is that the first or the second one? Definitely the second one, because there are scouts out. Yeah, that's some crazy big walls right there. I guess it would make sense against a... I guess it kind of makes sense against a slow archer civilization, but against the... it doesn't make sense really. It's very greedy. It's not going to be easy to quick wall any aggression out here in time. Men-at-arms move to the front to the docks here. I guess the fire galleys will sort that though. But if not, the men-at-arms could actually take out docks here and limit the fish income over the skull. But here comes the fire galley. Shouldn't be an issue. Other than the mild annoyance it is having infantry units poking away at your barracks. And we're walling on land here for leveling up Grufrid. And it's just literally walling 35% of the map here with palisades and buildings. Castle Ages will kick in at basically exactly the same time here. Food, gold eco for double stable knights, Nicely in place here. Urus Khan, on the other hand, with wood in abundance for more fish if needed, or just more town centers. You can't town center this area, I believe, unless the... No, I don't think you can. But surely the Japanese player will want to use some of that wood and stone to secure core resources here. Just a tiny trickle of archers forward here to break through and maybe punish the, or at least force a reaction from Llewellyn at home before the knights can run out and raid. Longsword kicks in for the Bulgarians in the castle, wherever they've taken away now. There they are. Pulled away from the fire galleys. Krepos will go up and secure the gold, and in a position to take out the docks here as well. I guess I like that position. Ooh, and Longsword's trying to take out fire galleys as well. Surely you could send the knights to chase as well. Down goes the archer, down goes a fire galley, most likely. And the Krepos should sort out the Fish Eco here. So Fish Eco gets denied a bit here, but Urus Khan has already been benefiting a lot of that with the Japanese here. Now the gold control is more important, but that's not really something that Urus Khan needs to stress yet, I think, because there's still a main goal at home here, is either farm, adapting to losing the fish now, dropping more farms instead at home around the town centers, while Llewellyn is really loving that extended 1 TC play here, and yet another game doing that to try and punish the greed of the opponent. But this time around, Llewellyn is walling off a huge part of the map, only to flood out units rather than extend the economy at home as well. It's easy to drop more town centers with Bulgarian stone, only costs you 50 stone. So Bulgarians could obviously establish and boom later on. Down goes the naval presence of Urus Khan. The docks will be lost here. Enter the Japanese pikemen though. They should shred these knights no problem if they can pass next to the Krepos, that is. So these archers roaming around on the field here, not a significant mass. Surely if you get to the crossbow masses, that's Japanese here together with the pikes to hold off against the Bulgarians forward here. So, small trickle knights here, getting some raids in for leveling up Grufwid here. The build situation 19 to 13. And North Gold control well in place for the red player now. Still 1 town center to 3 for the Japanese here now. 2 of those town centers producing builds for Urus Khan, 25 on food, 20 on wood, 6 on gold. I'd say there's a good chance Japanese beat Bulgarians to the Imperial Age here, looking at the resource setup. On the other hand, when you go pikes as Bulgarians, as Japanese, I mean, the Bulgarians can make their longswords because they get that upgrade instantly, so that's not really a tech switch other than upgrades. I like how Llewellyn is scouting the south side here just to see if Urus Khan is taking some neutral resources here. Actually planning to do so, to place a mining camp here on some stones and golds. Is this actually the only stone on the map? No, there's one here and one over here. for Llewellyn as well. That's been scouted, of course. Forward Krepost. Not really denying anything here, I'd say. Why not on a woodline instead or something? Urus has somehow redocked here, but that's been spotted by leveling up Gruffudd here with 27 military to 18 and yeah, while some fish is being brought in here by the remaining fishing ships, Urus is... Oh, there's a dock over here as well! That forward villager of Urus has been doing work here. Not really producing any naval military, just making use of the fact that Japanese fishing ships work faster. Taking stone in the south as well, eventually having plans for a castle, but Llewellyn of Gruffudd keeps a higher military lead here, falls extremely behind in economy. 2 additional town centers just now coming up for the Bulgarians. I'd say for Bulgarians, drop a 4th one as soon as possible as well to keep up here. And yeah, only thing in production for level now are the long swordsmen. Makes sense given the lack of ranged units on the field for Urus for now. Long swords will deal with the pikes easily with their full upgrades here. But without any real raids, real damage dealt on Urus side here, Urus is going to dominate this game with an earlier Imperial Age and maybe a defensive castle to tramp down the Kreposts. Yeah, castle to the side here on a hill to cover this gold and this area as a whole here. Some damage done to Elite, of course, 13 to 3 villagers, but the 3 Teensies has been working all since the start of the castle age for Urus here. Urus has invested a minimum into military to hold off the worst of the attacks and just disposing the resources very nicely here to go Imperial Age, 25 on food, 18 on gold. And crossbows now in full production here because the Bulgarians player is mainly going infantry. And all the Krepos goes up. Maybe Llewellyn thinks they're doing great damage here with this forward aggression. Keeping the middle, must be confident now. Even chasing Japanese fishing ships with the knights here. But the fact remains that Llewellyn still hasn't kicked the Imperial Age and Urus will be up probably 2 minutes ahead of the opponent here, and then suddenly the Kreposts here and there aren't nearly as dangerous anymore. Stoning off 666 stone. That's a nasty number right there for Urus. Enough stone for another castle, 650 stone that is. Another range going up as well, 3rd range by looks of it, so numbers not necessarily scary for Llewellyn just yet. 1.5 minute in the end, 1 minute 45 seconds for Urus to the Imperial Age lead. But Llewellyn investing into the Krepos does not have stone for a castle yet, so any Trevors should be won handily by Urus here, as not being stressed out at all by the aggression here. Another castle in the core economy at home here. Arbalest is in for the Japanese halberdier on the way as well. Faster attacking Japanese halberdiers, floating lots of wood now, but that's going to go into more Arbalest production here, maybe more ranges to pop up as well to give Urus a solid military lead here. And the Arbalest halberdier combo should shred anything that Llewellyn has on the field for the time being. Now it's just about cleaning up those scrap posts so Llewellyn doesn't have any easy defenses to creep back to, and Urus can start pushing back the greedy walls of Llewellyn here. Doesn't take many trebuchet shots to take down the scrap posts, and this castle should be very short-lived against the Japanese trebs here when Urus gets another one out. Well, the castle goes up, but for how long for Llewellyn that is? It's within the vision of Urus here, so that's just going to be dealt with nice and easy. Llewellyn in the Imperial Age, but not... What's the priority going to be here? Elite Conic, maybe? Yeah, exactly, Scuba. As long as it doesn't get ready to death, this should be an easy death ball win for Urus, and just look at the numbers. It's already twice the military numbers. The eco could be raided here, of course, but there's so much in the bank for Urus here as well. I'm not sure if it matters as much at this point. They're both floating economy, but Llewellyn is going to be pushed at home soon enough, and will be losing gold access. Still kind of has the middle, but no villagers there working. So see a defensive cast going up here, and but again there's a Trebs, and I didn't see if Urus got the unique tick or not, but if he does get the Kataraputo Treb for Japanese, we could instantly pack and unpack the Trebs. Let's see. We'll see when or if the Trebs pack or unpack here. Yeah, there are helps at home to defend for Urus as well, so the raids will be doing much here. Light cap for Llewellyn, thinking about the Bulgarian Hussars maybe. 41 on food, should be able to do something here, but the army domination of Urus is just too strong here. It doesn't help if you have gold, secret access, if you're the Bulgarians here, when the opponent has almost 3 times your military size. Helps, Arbs, Japanese Trebs, 5 of them now. No way back for Llewellyn here. I think this is gonna go to a game 5. $87 military 27, 61 military per count. Military counts comparable, but the population is not 196 to 117. That's 80 more pop capped for Urus here. It doesn't even address the middle. There's no gold being taken here, so why would you bother? Just keep pushing the enemy and get that GG and next game rolling here. I'm not sure why the Bulgarians is still playing here, maybe because the mid control, but GG well played is called. Urus takes High Tides, and looks like we'll be going to Llewellyn's last home map then to finish the set. Let's look at the stats first, actually. The only chance Bulgarians had any inputs with Siege or maybe CA. Bulgarians have cheaper Siege earlier, so they could, with that gold access that Llewellyn technically had in the north, maybe that was possible, but didn't seem to be on their mind. That's a tough death ball to stop for any Civ with the Japanese, though. 111 to 71. Great boom and defense by Urus as well, by the way. Seem to make just the right investments and adjustments along the way. Straight 3TZ boom, pike defense, and grabbing the eco lead. Right, last game, 5th game, is going to be on Cup. And we have Britons versus Goths. So Llewellyn with the Britons, but Urus with Goths in the draft to counterpick the Britons here. So let's hope for some aggressive Dark Age action for this one then. Hello. Cup it is. And yeah, let's see for the civilizations and map layouts here. This gold is extremely exposed to the shoreline here, so Urus would be, Llewellyn would be doing well to control water on this side, and this gold could be denied even only from water. But there are, of course, 2 more golds to move up to for Urus here, but what's not ideal for the Goths player is that all 3 golds are on the left-hand side. So you will be desperate to secure them. Kind of reminiscent of the Bay map generation, where the golds were horrible for Urus as well. Hello, Menno Nation. So Britons here on the other side with not the lowest golds on the same side as well, but not nearly as exposed to the shoreline as is the case on the left side though. So while not ideal, better gold spots for the Britons, and this one at least should be easier to hold safely at home. Are we freezing everything here now? No. Yeah. Massive capture rate lag there, but we seem to be back on track here. When started momentarily. Hopefully on Monday the 24th, if I can get the brackets down on time. Sign-up deadline is Monday, so it won't be starting until the sign-ups are concluded. Thanks for returning, by the way. You're welcome. I'm just glad people want to participate. It's kind of crazy settings with the random factor and all, but I think it could provide some great games as well. There's only one sign up in the 2000 plus bracket, so we'll see what we do with that. Maybe just cancel it or combine brackets and make sure to have a silver league or something. I haven't completely decided on that. But obviously we wouldn't want 1800 to 2000 bracket players up against the 2k plus players either necessarily, so I'll have to think about something there as well. Yeah, pros want prize pool. Of course I do. I would want prize pool as well if I were a pro then. my tournament is self-funded, and it's symbolic, if anything, that prize pool isn't gonna make a living for anyone, but that's perfectly fine. Yeah, the 1800 to 2K bracket should be nice. We'll have at least a 16-player bracket there, hopefully larger. Oh, okay, here's some rush action from the Goths here. To be expected, the militia opening on a map like this. There's the build, so it was a pre-build rush, no dock for the Goths here, but going for this kind of aggression, you could stop the fish eco of the Britons simply by attacking on the hybrid terrain here. Llewellyn with the walls up on the woodline, but will it be enough to keep the aggression out here? Urus Khan, yeah, won't be able to get through here. The fish is down, last fish for the Britain's players, so that takes a toll on the economy here. Nothing on food for Llewellyn here now, but the barracks still goes up. Technically, you don't need food for archers, so Llewellyn might still be fine here. But those walls on the woodline... Why so far out, by the way? Why not just go... Why not just go more local and get the villagers back to chopping wood here? That was a bit confusing to me. Would definitely an issue here for the Britons. Mining camp going down all the way down here. Is Urus Khan going to see that? Urus Khan lacking a little bit in scouting here, not seeing Llewellyn taking this gold. But looks like that's what Urus Khan is going to scout here to try and see if there's any gold being taken elsewhere. Not loving the scouting intel of Urus Khan this game, of course. Found the fish, found the woodline, but finds only 1 gold. There are 3 here. Food is going to be a massive issue for leveling up Grufwood here, though. Only 1 villager. Now the TC is going to go idle for quite some time here, because there's no fish food eco. There's berries, but there's only 2 villagers. Those 2 are probably going to go to the berries as well. Yeah, but the idle TC time now, 50 seconds and counting. Rushing some farms. Farm snipe by Urus Khan! Oh, how cheeky to do that with militia. Disappointingly standard rush with the Goths here now, though. Considering that the infantry is cheaper for the Goths, you could make more in the Feudal Age, more in the Dark Age, if you want to. But you're up against an archer civilization as well, so of course you don't want to overextend in the Dark Age when they get archers out. First archer out for Britons. Britain's ranges work 20% faster as well, so it's easier to get the numbers rolling. Urus Khan still hasn't found the Llewellyn's gold, though, by the way. Could go back to rushing the fish, maybe, or eventually see that gold mine. Nope. Okay, it's time for the counterattack for Llewellyn here. Finding a dock going up for Urus Khan as well. That's one that Llewellyn won't be able to deny. But certainly it's Llewellyn with the army momentum here. Urus Khan will go into the skirmishers now, what looks fit. And I love these walls here next to the dock to eliminate any chance of a naval presence on this dock to stop this gold. Range gets denied, that's huge, that's going to delay any skirmishers and defense against the Britain's archers here, but not even really fletching in yet for Llewellyn, going for army numbers over upgrades here, since the idle TC time is significant here after Urus Khan's initial rush. That's basically the difference here as well. No, one villager killed, but the main issue is the idle TC due to food shortage for Llewellyn here. So, good archers aggression with a few numbers from the Britons here. Fletching is in as well. 2 villagers down for Urus Khan, needs to evacuate one woodline now. And if Llewellyn has the scouting down and reads the map properly here, they're not scouting the players' golds here. Why not? Why not scout the map and see the core resources? Obviously, this gold could be hindered here, but now the skirmishers are out for Urus Khan. And a dock on this side has been there for a while as well to provide some fish on the left-hand side. Galley over here, not contesting really Llewellyn's fish, but will be providing some defense against armies crossing the hybrid terrain here anyway. And now some very significant stone investment for a middle castle maybe for Urus Khan here in the next age. Castle age, very close for both players here. Oh, where's the mining camp? Dancing around the scout here. She doesn't even dare fighting back, and she goes down, I think. That's another villager for Urus Khan. 4 villagers killed. 5 villagers lost. Much more idle eco time for Urus Khan though, with the archers counteroffensive of Llewellyn up Gruffudd. Another wave of archers moving forward will deny a little gold here. You want to deny the Goths of this stone, because if they can't get the castle up, they can't unlock Huskarls either. Once you get the castle up with Goths, you could research Anarchy, which allows Huskarls to be created from barracks, otherwise you'll need the castle for Huskarls enemy. I mean, galleys, 2 galleys on the water now. Really wanting to snipe that one dude there, but not succeeding. Another villager snipe there, 5, 7, eco KD. Otherwise, the little trickle of archers for the Britons here will be focused down by this mix of archers and skirmishers of Urus Khan. Doesn't commit. I think Urus Khan could chase here, but he doesn't know if there are any reinforcements around for leveling up Gruffudd here, so that's probably why it's not chasing. Or it could be the cast stage kicking in and the option for crossbows as well. Good job of Llewellyn to deny stone here. Urus Khan will need to use the market to buy stone for if he wants to rush up the castle here. Probably wants to just free up the stone and not have to buy it though. But when in a pinch, you might need to get a defensive castle up to secure your boats, for example. So we'll see. There's some naval battling here from Urus Khan to take out the one and only dock of Llewellyn. Something they might not mind too much here, given the crossbow investment network. 2 ranges consistently producing crossbow from the 40 Britons here now. The snipe, no ballistics yet for the Britons. Wood count fairly low. They did have a rough start after all, getting barracks and berries denied and that kind of stuff. That's why the ILT's time was at 2 minutes already in the feudal age for the Britons player here. Now it's at 5:12, but that's probably because there's... Wait, is there still only one TC? Why isn't Llewellyn using making villagers? It's probably because the water has been contested and Llewellyn has relied way too much on fish eco here. There comes the castle for Goths and tasking literally all of the villagers here to get that castle up in the between woodlands and golds. That's actually a very nice castle in that sense that it protects a lot of resources here. It's in the middle of the base and filling a crucial spot here. Crossbows can't contest the golds and woods anymore, but that's a lot of economy devoted to dropping that castle as well. And the villager counts are now officially similar between the two. Not anymore, because Llewellyn keeps getting kills here. But Goths are in the cast stage, not with an eco to pump out those Huskarls as of yet, though. That Britain's range at work as well. +3 attack, +3 range in the cast stage for Britons, because they get an additional range as a civilization bonus in the cast age and in the Imperial Age. So that can be annoying to deal with. Is there even a university for Llewellyn here? Probably not. Going men at arms now already, preparing the swordsman line. Switch to handle the Huskarls here. Britons do have a full blacksmith tech tree, so they have fully upgraded champions. Should this go to the very late game to the Imperial here. And as long as you deny enough economy of the Celts here, spamming out Huskarls won't be easy. See, only 1 defense for the Huskarls. But the Pierce armor, obviously significant. Hello. Shoot the Huskarls, not the sheep. Come on. Yeah, it's gonna be easier said than done to deal with those. I think Llewellyn just chasing the Huskarls away here to avoiding the inevitable, not really looking at that army. Keeps the crossbows forward, has been sniping some farms here to keep the Goths economy at the minimum, but here comes docks and a town center in the middle for Urus Khan as well. And if the Goths can somehow stabilize an economy here, namely wood and gold economy, and get to the Imperial Age, it's just going to be so tough for the Britons to handle. We're not going to see Imperial Age anytime soon, though, looking at the resources here. Galleys on the shoreline still doing a little bit of work here for Urus Khan as well. Love to see some demo shots at some point here. "20 crossbows, 3 long swords for Britons now to... Didn't I see another barracks here somewhere? Maybe not. Well, Urus Khan is extending some vision to the north to see if the Britons player is expanding. They're kind of confined to their own side right now. That was a fire galley for Urus, and now it's Urus turn to lose some builders here. Still only 4 first calls, and in the process of stabilizing. Why would you farm in the middle though? That's kind of a confident move by Urus here, thinking that the situation is better than it looks. More castle has to be in the planning here because there's a TC now going up on the stone here. How many villagers idling here? Quite a few, as the Britain's player is extending the economy at home as well. 59 to 49 villages. Those raids with the crossbows for Llewellyn has really paid off here. Sitting at an 11 villager lead now. And arguably with better eco options as well, with wheelbarrow at least in. As compared to the other players. That essentially means a slightly larger villager lead. Snipe some more villagers in the middle, uses the few long swords here to take out docks. So that's about what's going on here. Nice map vision to the north side for Urus now, still keeping some kind of control over the shoreline here, or at least having vision with the ships patrolling to see if Llewellyn read docks here. Good middle control for Urus, except for for the town center going down here, and lots of villagers honestly going to waste. No army in production for Llewellyn for the time being here now. Floating food and gold. Probably going to abandon the archers, the crossbows idea completely for the Britons here now, because the Goths will have the ultimate counter to archers play with their Huskarls. So Llewellyn will need to adapt here as well. Looks like a faster imp attempt here into Champions tech, maybe, to push back here or to have a response to the skulls. And Eco, of course, on point for Llewellyn here. Not going that 1 TC all-in craziness as much as previous games here now, but establishing more of a boom and an Eco here. While the Goths player, who obviously can't stonewall, is trying to protect the sides here with some house walls and buildings foundations. Both playing it kind of defensively here. I can't say passively, just defensively right now. Castle on the shoreline and also protecting the farm eco here for Llewellyn. Probably with planning to get back on water now in the Imperial Age. I think this castle to some extent could protect docks on the shoreline here as well. 10 villager lead for Llewellyn, but Imperial Age versus non-Imperial Age for the Celts. Squires, Arson. Middle TC to be contested by longswords, soon to be two-handed maybe, but Urus has War Galley out on this side as well, has a couple of docks up, not really producing from them for the time being. Probably really wants to castle in the middle here because of this stone investment, but let's see how Llewellyn will deal with this. Moves out. with the infantry units now, and should probably be able to focus down any small numbers of ships here, and always has the castle to fall back to as needed as well. So, Imperial Age on the way for Urus as well, getting careening for the ships to withstand more, especially more Pierce attack from archers forward. First trap is out for leveling up Grofid Doe, and down goes the little middle control that Urus had here. 200 swordsmen already in, and Celts with 1 minute 20 seconds to go to the Imperial Age, so even with faster working barracks and all, Britons have a significant lead to the infantry spam wars right now. Bracer, ballistics kicking in. Should be seeing Arbalest soon as well. Yeah, there's the Arbalest tech, which means Britons should be having 5+5 range Arbalest. No more trebuchets, though, only that one trebuchet, but that has been doing work for now, taking out docks and army presence. Galleon for Urus here to really fortify the right hand side. Has more galleys on the left side here as well. Arb is in though, let's see how they deal with the ships here. Obviously ballistics has been in for a while as well. And the army mass itself as well, 48 to 19. Urus mainly holding water here, probably to just build up that food and gold economy on land to get that Goth spam rolling. And of course, if you can keep the water with naval presence here with the Celts and survive the Britons' push now, mainly with infantry and the treb here, then the Celts will really get their Imperial Age advantage over Britons here with siege ram and other siege weapons access. Might reclaim the middle here as well. Does Urus see that castle foundation going up? Might be thinking that that could be the case. That could be denied by the galleons, I think. Did I say Celts? Well, it's 2:45. 2:45 AM. Goths, obviously. I'm so used to seeing Celts on this map. Oh! Castle goes up just in time. That could be an awesome demolition hit there, but it doesn't happen. Llewellyn still has the army lead here, but the situation on water has to be attended to as well, and Britons aren't exactly famous for being a naval sib. You could of course say that about the Goths as well, but they are surprisingly decent on water compared to many other civilizations. We have Galleon here, and Goths have a bracer as well, which is significant to for the late game water battles. That's something that Britons have as well. Now what moving on to the side? A line of sight on that Treb though. Yeah, that gold extension for Goths is going to be punished by the Britons here. There's still gold at home for in abundance for Urus here. Doesn't really need that middle control yet. Couple of barracks up to the sides. And Huskal numbers increasing as well. So they're both going to push each other on the sides here. Yeah, this gold isn't danger now for Urus we need a reaction here. Pulls them away. That's only that's 2 trebuchets for the Britons actually pushing here. And Orbs shouldn't be a threat if the Huskal numbers can reach critical mass here. Neither should the Trebs, but of course Llewellyn has the champions here, only missing the last attack for them to be fully upgraded, and that's basically the best answer against Goths. Infantry Huskars, especially since archer, they have such high pierce armor, but they are no match for fully upgraded champions. Castle seems to be going down, but who's getting the better push here? The middle castle for Llewellyn is being contested by Goth's Trebs here as well. Fortified walls to the side for Llewellyn here. In fact, all around the base here, so that should limit the raids as far as it goes here for the blue player, but some damage is still being done here. Look at Llewellyn's villager kills though, 43 villagers killed. Has done some serious raiding here. Treb's completely unprotected, only needs some few Huskals here to focus those down. If at all possible. I'm liking Llewellyn's position better though, getting housed here now, almost pop-capped. Oh, hello! Xavier Tenka with the raid, thank you! Welcome everyone, I'm at the end of my own stream as well. I think this is the yeah, let's call it my clans tournament with clans and friends. We are doing a hidden cup. So these are hidden identities. The brackets are spanning players from 1150 to 1600 plus 1v1 elo, but you don't know who you're playing against. So that's the beauty of this. We're at the round of 8 now. You started out with a 16-player bracket. And this is the 3rd out of 4 setups in the round of 8. And it's gone to 5 games here. With the Goths player and the British player both in the Imperial Age. Some solid naval investment from Urus here to claim back the middle and have that gold access and eventually be getting the economy needed to get that Goth spam running. Arbalest, obviously not really an option for the Britons anymore. They're still over here, but they will eventually be dealt with by the Huskars. I think 22 Huskars total now should be a clean up. The Britain has teched into champions here, but will be struggling both to take back naval control here and to hold off the Goth masses of infantry to come their way soon enough. Champions raids over here, though, so neglecting some expansion from Urus has been denying Urus of gold here as well, but then the middle is in Urus control here, so lots of gold here to be taken, of course. So what was on the menu today, Zayrtenka? Was there free for all games? See you cast a lot of them. Barracks to the sides for the Britain's player as well, holding on their fast fire ship. Could they? No, they can't really take out the Trebs because of the castle, but if they get close to the galleons, they could definitely do some work here. Down goes the front castle for Llewellyn. There are still stone walls here to keep most of the invariants out, but that certainly makes it a lot harder for the ships to survive here. The cannon galleon is out with hope to take out the middle castle and the Trebs, mainly the Trebs. Was this a Warwolf cannon galleon or what? Really, it did work against the Trebs there, but the Trebs have done the work as well, taking out the castle. There is enough stone for Llewellyn to drop a castle though, and the overall eco situation, resources in the bank, looks on point for Llewellyn up Gruffuit here. Oh, imagine a demolition ship here. Demolition. Demo! Don't let the champs get away like that. So we see men-at-arms being attacked by Urus needs to go into the Goth's champion here now to respond to the Britons, or alternatively some siege, of course. Scorpions could do to some extent. The ships are doing some work here as well. And some raids to the side here as well from the Britons. So not your usual stables and hussars in the corners here, but barracks and champions instead for Britons, because it's basically the one unit that will withstand all of the infantry units that the Goths will bring to the fights here. Still gold's not being taken here, but the middle gold is of course within Urus Khan's hands here. Far behind in both villager numbers and military numbers though, which is surprising being Goths, but he has been under serious pressure from the Britons' push here as well. Full on infantry champions for the Britons now, and we have 10 barracks producing champions from different sides of the map here. Will this castle go up though? Llewellyn might be able to deny it. 78 villagers for Urus Khan now against 136 from the Britons. Still solid within the fortified walls at home. This reminds me of a game Beowulf sent me to cast a while ago, so maybe I'll just keep my guess for Beowulf being Llewellyn here, but if so, he's been playing very well throughout the tourney so far. Britons are an infantry sim, change my mind. Popcap for the Britons here, Goths only at 93, and even their extra 10 population space in Imperial Age will do them any good, while outnumbered by a factor of 100 by the Britons here. Side castles to secure some neutral resources as well. Well, they're not going to struggle for resources for a while now, given the infantry numbers, army numbers on the field here and being pop-capped. Could even consider deleting some villagers for even more military space here, but there's 56 military to 31, and Urus Khan still only with 200 swordsmen and a navy that fails to allow the champions to move over to the other side here. Goths also lack, what do they lack? They lack the last armor for infantry, so they're essentially weaker. If Urus Khan gets to the champions upgrade here, the Britain's champions will be stronger in similar numbers. Now the TCD9 to the side here. It is the last game for both players here. Whoever wins this moves on, so They'll keep going for the rest of it. 10. Barracks producing for Urus now. No, 5 barracks producing 10 units in the queue. Yeah, this is not enough to keep up with the Britain's full champions play here. 2 arbalists on the field. Of course, you could go arbalist again now with the Britons now that the main unit or the Goths are the champions. GG, well played. Good luck next. And a solid Britain's performance it was. Llewellyn moves on to the semi-final. So, well, the army flow, the army numbers overall, and the crossbow raids earlier on for the Britons did some work as well. Denied Urus of gold for a long while. Good early aggression from Urus with the rush to set back Britons a lot, but Llewellyn recovered and secured the home base through fortified walls from raids. And was able to, of course, gain a massive eco and military lead during the course of the game. 295 kills. And overall more resources, no big surprise there. And actually smoother uptime through all of the agents here for the Britons.